Hello there. So, fortunately, we were running into technical difficulties earlier. We'll just pretend that stream didn't happen because my laptop is still dying. But we were able to get it fixed. Long story short, charge port's kind of fucked up, but that's just an eventual thing that's gonna get fixed. So we already started this. I don't know how long this is gonna be. It's shaping to be possibly 20-minute video, probably. It just depends if whether or not I do a horror movie analysis with this too, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Don't drink unless you're an adult. Here, let's see. What do I have so far? You've stepped into a hallway you've walked through many times before. Everything should seem familiar. The doors should be predictable. Every nook and cranny should spark a case of familiarity, and yet something feels wrong. Maybe it's the way the lights are flickering. Maybe it's just the. Maybe it's just the. Maybe it's just the shadow where none exists. We're being a little bit restrictive with this intro. I'm not gonna go that crazy though. Neat. Buddy. Huh. Your body. Your heart begins to race. Hello? Hey, what's up? I'm just doing my lore streams, then I'm gonna be doing some sprite animation. I had to start late though, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just gonna do this real quick, then I gotta get right to my sprite animation streams. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, I got like 15 more minutes left. Your heart begins to race, and I'm salty because Sonic Cross World is $80 just to play it right now. $89.99. Oh, it's so much money. Yeah, anyways, your heart begins to race and your muscles tense. Your muscles tense. Wow, they did not do this one right. All right, back to RE music we go. All right, let's see. We're in a Resident Evil type of move tonight. All right, your muscles begin to tense, and your muscles begin to tense. Begin to tense. Playing FNAF again is gonna be so weird after so long. But yeah, the last one I did play was Security Breach, so that should be. We were saving Security Breach for another video. Your heart begins to race and your muscles begin to tense. Every nerve in your body. Every nerve in your body starts to scream. And nothing, that's something. This is not right. All You've stepped into a hallway you've walked through many times before. Everything should seem familiar. The doors should be predictable. Every nook and cranny should spark a case of familiarity. And yet something feels wrong. Maybe it's the way the lights are flickering. Maybe it's just the window where none should exist. Your body reacts before your mind can process it. Your heart begins to race and your muscles begin to tense. Every nerve in your body starts to scream, this is not right. Okay, I like it. Always keep an iPad filled with notes. All right. So I have my quotes in here. So we're going to be using Arthur Miller this time. Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller once wrote. Arthur Miller once wrote. Betrayal. Arthur Miller once wrote, the betrayal is the only truth that sticks. Again, I am super salty about how expensive that Sonic game is. Well, first of all, it's $70 regardless. That's how much games are nowadays. Back in my day, games were $50. But things change. So if you wanted to play it 2 days early, well, you can pay that $89.99. $89.99. Let that sink in for a second. You're spending $90 for early access. Betrayal is the only truth that sticks. Okay. All right. So horror games. Understand. Horror games understand this completely. Horror games understand this completely. They don't. I'm using Microsoft Word. It's Microsoft Word. I don't even know what year Microsoft Word this is. Let's actually check. It's Word. Yeah, I'm using the latest version of Microsoft Word. I just have it black. My eyes are literally like bad. The years have not been kind to my eyes, so I'm just keeping this in black. But yeah, I'm using Microsoft Word right now. That's why I'm wearing my glasses. Okay. I used to use OpenOffice because it was free, but Word was just on this laptop when I got it, so I'm like, all right, screw it, I'll just use Word. Trail is the only one that sticks. But unfortunately, I was running into technical difficulties earlier, so we're gonna do like another 5-10 minutes of this, but I gotta get to the other stuff that I planned tonight. So I just want to get the introduction started. We did finish up the outline yesterday, so we're good. We're good. Like this, I'm not in a rush to get this released anytime soon, just because of how complex it's not gonna be that complex. It's just Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna be like the dark horse. Like this have to be specific with Five Nights at Freddy. Fatal Frame 4, not so much. Resident Evil 2, not so much, but definitely FNAF is gonna be like the hard one here. So they don't merely introduce monsters. They don't merely introduce monsters. They betray the very spaces we thought. They betray the very spaces we once thought as safe. The very spaces. The very spaces you learn to trust. You learn to trust. I do wish Adobe Premiere wasn't that expensive. Adobe Premiere or After Effects would have been so godlike to use for the other stuff. But I'm fine with like Adobe Animate. It serves its purpose. But yeah, I'm using just vanilla Microsoft Word here. It's like animation like that just takes years upon years of practice. If you have plenty of time, just like study like every single, just make a lot of time just to like study. Like I mentioned before, back in the day, I was pretty big into spray animation, but it's been at least 10, 15 years since I actually did a legitimate one. So I kind of had to relearn from scratch. So I'm still relearning stuff, but it takes years upon years of practice. But since you're using Sonic sprites, it's gonna be well those sprites that you showed me. You're on the right track, in my honest opinion. All right. They don't merely introduce monsters; they portray the very spaces you learn to trust. Okay. All right. RPD. So a police station. A police station. A police station. What's the place of wow? Place of protection. A police station. Like when I do my projects, like this, for example, when I'm doing like narrative projects such as this, I try to at least dedicate at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. I do my own due diligence research, like off stream. If it's like sprite animation, whenever I have free time, I just do some studying or just try something new. So it just comes with practice. Like even like writing crazy narratives like this, it just becomes second nature the more you've done it. Like how throughout college I was just writing. And I play a lot of well, not so much anymore, but I played a lot of video games back in the day. That's why sometimes it's hard coming up with things, but as long as you practice, you should be good to go. So a police station wants a place of protection. Becomes here's a fun word: labyrinth, danger. Fatal Frame 4. Fatal Frame. Wait. A mental institute. I need to play Silent Hill F. That's what I need to play. But we will play that eventually. If I can actually spell. Mental Institute. Mental Institute. Place of healing for the mentally ill. Hides the dark. Fuck. I gotta be specific. And its walls. If you've ever played Fatal Frame 4, oh my god. Holy crap, Fatal Frame 4 just goes nuts at times. Alright, just a few more minutes. Yeah, I do apologize, but I started streaming like a little bit later than I probably should have. I was running into technical difficulties. But besides that, we should be good. So we'll wrap this up in like 5 minutes. I'll do like sprite animation for like an hour, then we'll wrap things up for tonight. This, again, I'm not going to be releasing this video for a bit. Today's the 22nd. I think this one should be released by October 1st. It's just because I don't know what I'm going to do in regards to like a tie-in. We can do horror movie tie-in because, again, as people know from my other videos, I love horror games. I love horror movies just as much. So I'm a horror movie buff. So we'll try to apply something to this, which I feel definitely any Final Girl chase sequence through a house will apply to this. I don't want to use Michael Myers or Jason because I've used them a few times. Okay, all right. So now FNAF, even a pizzeria, even a pizzeria, the most mundane of environments. I love them. I had a chance to actually go through them yesterday and take a look at them. They're amazing. Very good detail. If eventually I get back into like Sonic sprite animation, I will most likely use them. What made you choose that over the older ones? If you don't mind me asking. Even a pizzeria, the most mundane of environments, can shift. Can familiar to hostile. Okay, let's read what we have so far. My introductions are usually like really long, but I'm not gonna try to make this long. All right. You stepped into a hallway you've walked through many times before. Everything should seem familiar. The door should be predictable. Every nook and cranny should spark a case of familiarity. Familiarity. And yet something feels wrong. Maybe it's the way the lights are flickering. Maybe it's just a shadow where none should exist. Your body reacts before your mind can process it. Your heart begins to race and your muscles begin to tense. Every nerve in your body starts to scream, "This is not right." Arthur Miller once wrote, "Betrayal is the only truth that sticks." Horror games understand this completely. They don't merely introduce monsters. They betray the very spaces you learn to trust. A police station, once a place of protection, becomes a labyrinth of danger. And the RBD is a labyrinth, all right. A mental institute, a place of healing for the mentally ill, hides a dark secret behind its walls. Even a pizzeria, the most mundane of environments, can shift from familiar to hostile. Okay, this sounds really good so far. All right, so let's do like another 5 minutes, then we'll start wrapping those things up. Tomorrow, if I get out early enough from work, I will do some more. But again, I'm not really in a rush to get this done. Okay. Uh, this isn't just storytelling. This isn't just storytelling. It's a manipulation. It's a manipulation. It's a manipulation. Yes, I'm doing sprite animation tonight. I normally do these first, just get them out of the way. Then I do the rest of the. Then I just do sprite animations before I go to bed. So unfortunately, I did start a little bit later than usual because I was just busy and my laptop started acting up on me. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Then I'm gonna go right to the sprite animation. I'm gonna take like a 5 minute break, get my stuff ready, and we should be good to go. So I'll do like an hour of sprite animation tonight. It's a manipulation because I need to. There's a lot that I need to do there. So it's a manipulation of space. No, it's a manipulation of perception, memory, and anticipation. That's what I normally do. I do a little bit of lore stuff, lore writing, because primarily my channel is based on lore. Then before I go to bed, I do sprite animation. Okay, let's get into like a couple minutes. Hmm. All right. In anticipation. I think we're good. Let's just do like another sentence that we should be good to go for tonight. Horror horror games. Horror games exploit this. No. What was once safe becomes that boom sound effect right there is such a terrible jump. It's a terribly good jump scare. Becomes suspect. What was once safe becomes suspect. What was once familiar becomes alien. Um every sound, every sound, every sound, every shape, every echo becomes a potential threat. Okay, so all right, we did about a good amount of work today. Unfortunately, just about 20 minutes over work, but we got the introduction pretty much started. So tomorrow, if work allows it, I'll have a little bit more time, and we'll go from there. So good stuff. Again, I'm not gonna be releasing this video anytime soon. I'm looking for at least an October 1st release for this. So we'll finish the introduction tomorrow. We'll start with the brain aspect of it, and we'll go from there. And as usual, if anybody has any requests for these videos, just let me know. Because 9 times out of 10, I'll probably know what the hell I'm talking about. Because I had too much time as a kid. All right, good stuff. I gotta get to sprite animation. I'll see people tomorrow.